You're now listening to the Zod and Drea podcast.
What's going on, people? We're back with the Zod and Drea podcast.
And which number is this now?
This is number 36, so we are pushing it. We are pushing it hard. Every week you can find us here on the podcast, and, this is number 36, so we're going strong.
Going strong. We got a lot to talk about today.
Yeah, we got a whole bunch of things. Like, the beauty of this podcast is the fact that these are actually discussions that we have amongst each other. So we just want to bring our discussions to you. And, if you want, you can get involved, too, by either asking us questions, making comments, coming to the website, making the phone calls, reaching out to Zod and Dre and just letting know what you think. And this is a good one.
And even being a guest if you would like to.
And being a guest. If you're in the Phoenix area, make sure you contact us either through the website or through the Facebook page or any of our social networks. And, you can be a guest, too. And we can just sit here and just discuss.
And keep going. So, first topic we're going to talk about today are about these town halls that have been going on across the country. We're going to talk about a little bit about some here that are happening in Arizona. And just talk about if they've actually been productive.
Yeah, and beyond that, we're going to make sure we hit up our movie review, which is of Logan. You'll be able to read it on the website. I have written up a nice review for you to check out. And, what did you think about the big blockbuster that came out this weekend? It's the last of the Wolverine series with Hugh Jackman. And, we're going to see where that moves forward. But the movie was really good, so we're going to talk about that as well.
And then, you want to talk about the big topic?
The big topic. The big topic. Here goes the big topic and what this podcast is all about. We're going to talk about how can the mixture of business and personal relationships fail. So we'll also talk about how it can, be better and everything, but we're going to talk about the failure part and then discuss, how we can move forward from that. So that's going to be a nice topical discussion because, we have personal things invested in that topic. Because like we said, we talk about things that, we encounter each week.
We share our business with you.
Yeah, we
literally.
Yeah, right? May not name names. We won't name names, but, you can come into our world and hopefully you can also relate. But take something from what we discuss. And that's going to be the whole point of what we do with our podcast.
Right. And that's all we want to do is like whatever we discuss, take back, reassess and keep moving forward with.
And that's it. So, you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. We're going to talk about this. This is your topic. This is your thing.
This irritated me so much. So, I attended a town hall this week for a local senator that I had voted for previously in other elections. And so I thought, oh, great. She's doing a town hall. I won't say who it is. But it's
Isn't it Kristen Cinema?
I said I wouldn't say who it is.
I know. It's something like that. It's that cinema chick over here in Arizona. It's Kirsten, what is it? Kristen?
I won't say who it is.
It's cinema, something, whatever.
But what I will say is this. So, given the past few months then, or actually this past month, right? Senators across the country are supposed to be interacting with their constituents, right?
Uh-huh.
They are supposed to, during this break time that they have, to meet back with their people who voted for them and get their feedback, right? So you've seen from different videos taken from different town halls that have happened across the country. Some have been very vocal. Some have been very boisterous because you've got constituents that have issues, right? There are some very pressing issues. Healthcare, women's health, immigration. These are things that are impacting people's lives. So in Arizona, we are noticing that it's just been really quiet here. None of our leaders have been really opening up for town halls. One town hall that was held by, and I will say this, Senator Flake did it over the phone. He held an over-the-phone town hall.
Lame.
Didn't even put it out on his website. Only gave it out, the phone number, to a certain group of people because it was an invite only. And he held the call with just not even opening up for questions.
Not naming names, huh? Flake.
Look, I'm like, that just really irritated me about that. Like, how is that supposed to be a way to get feedback from how you're doing from your constituents and really be involved in the community and learn about what is affecting Arizona? Immigration is one major factor that is affecting all of our communities here. So come on, guys, get with it. Balls up and come to and actually host a town hall. Today, the town hall was held at, well, first of all, it was very low publicized too.
This is for which one?
Cinema,
okay.
You go on her Facebook site, where her official government Facebook site, I'm sorry, website, not even Facebook, on her website, it's not even listed as the event. I just heard about it from a friend. So went with the friend to attend this because we had questions, wanted to know what her stand was on certain things and why she voted certain ways too, because she's voting very...
She's a Democrat. Now, so the thing is, she's a Democratic representative in Congress for Phoenix.
And she's just not being powerful at all and not representing the people that voted her into office. So we thought, okay, let's just go to this event. It was in the middle of a retirement center on a Monday at 1:00 in the afternoon. You walk in and it was a bunch of chairs put in a row where people were facing each other. And what she would do was pick people to go and talk to her one by one. It was not an open forum. You could only ask one question. And again, it was so tiny, so small, and it was so over-controlled to the point where she only had 1 hour to be there. So, of course, she didn't get to talk to everybody. Oh, no, what are you going to do? Right? So there was just no way to really have a free, open discussion. And I'm extremely upset and disappointed about it because it sucked face. It's like, what are you so afraid of? Oh, are you afraid of people actually bringing subjects to you and issues to you and putting you accountable for promises that you did not deliver? Maybe you should rethink about running for office then.
I mean, nationwide, there were a bunch of Republicans who were confronted by their constituents. I don't know if you've seen, but they have been, including, Mitch McConnell and that Jason Chavez guy, whatever.
Joker.
Yeah, so there are a lot of people out there who are being confronted by angry mobs. Of course, they're going to flip it and say, it's paid by either Obama or Hillary, or who knows what. But these are real constituents with real issues, especially considering they are finally catching up with the fact that the Obamacare is the ACA and it's going to be gutted, more or less, even though they just came out with a quote-unquote alternative plan today, but they didn't say how much it's going to cost. Or the fact that poor people are not going to benefit from the tax breaks as much as the rich will. But, that's them. So they're being confronted nationwide. It's just funny that, a Democrat like Sinema, who people voted for, for her liberal policies, is acting more like a Republican, and, being scared. And Jeff Flake was just a complete joke with his little telephone calls.
Right. So your job is temporary. You work for us, people.
Yeah, so just remember, come, a couple of years from now, or whenever your re-election is up, we're going to be talking. We're going to be discussing things. So,
now, Logan.
Let's talk about Logan a little bit. So the movie came out to a lot of fanfare. Now, anybody who hasn't been keeping up with the X-Men over the last, maybe like 17 years or something like that. It's been a long time. Hugh Jackman has been playing.
Has it been 17
something
years?
like that? Yeah,
wow.
It's something like that. It's a long time. Then the X-Men movies, which is a Marvel product, but Sony, I believe Sony had bought the rights, so they're the ones who come up with all of these. So you've seen First Class, the most recent Apocalypse, there was Days of Future Past, whatever, but there have also been a lot of Wolverine movies starring Hugh Jackman ever since he came out, a very, very popular character. And if you haven't seen the movies, you can see Logan by itself, but it's based on the graphic novel of Old Man Logan, in which, hey, if you haven't seen the movie, then you just don't know if I'm not going to reveal the end. Does he live? Does he die? Does he walk
transform?
Walk off into the sunset? But Logan, he's a drunk. He's just a cab driver. This is in the future. I believe it's like 2029 or something like that.
Yeah,
in the future. Yeah. And much looks the same, but much isn't. He's storing Professor X away, and, pretty much in their lap winds up a woman who tracked them down and wants to give this kid to them to take care of. Professor X, who is on medication in order to control certain seizures that will pretty much lock up probably like a 10-block radius of wherever he is, considering how strong his brain is in the mutant world, will pretty much get this kid. They wind up getting this kid, and they have a helper with them, but it just turns into shit once they find out this kid is much more than she just appears to be. And then that's when the adventure just takes off.
Super duper. She's super duper.
Yeah, she's cute. She's adorable. And it's based on the X-23 series where, Wolverine gets, pretty much something way more than he bargained for. And his healing powers aren't healing as well as they were. Mm-hmm. He's a mutant that heals. He has the metal claws that come out of his fingers. And even those things are getting stiff. But the movie was really excellent based on not just the dramatic feel of how it was shot. It was way different than the other X-Men movies.
There wasn't a lot of CGI. I can not really so much CGI, but it just seemed more natural, if you will.
Yeah, it seemed more earthy.
Yeah,
it seemed a lot more earthy. I mean, and not just earthy. They had everything. They had the desert. Mm-hmm. They had the woods. They had the mountains, and they also had the city.
Right.
And they had the small town and Farm USA. I mean, they pretty much had every piece of the United States inside of this movie, and just trying to seek the help that they need, winding up what's up with X-23, winding up with the other mutants that were being either hidden or stored or created or whatever, wound up coming full circle. And, at some point, you might see two Hugh Jackmans,
What?
All right, you might point, you just might. We don't know. But it winds up being the continuation of the X-Men series, which is what's interesting. So, after all these years of Hugh Jackman, from X-Men to X2 to, X-Men 3 to Days of Future Past to, God, Apocalypse to him, what was the other one? He's even made little scenes in certain movies where he was Wolverine, but he didn't do anything. It's really cool that this character went through so many movies and he was just there with one actor.
The relationship with Wolverine and Professor X is what really captured the movie for me. You really got to see them as humans.
Yeah, pretty much. Their bond is very much father-son.
Mm-hmm, very much.
Grumpy son. And the father who's still trying to reach him, still.
Optimistic dad.
God, man, you've been optimistic for decades.
Oh, it was so good.
Yeah, it was good. So, I definitely recommend you seeing Logan. It just came out this weekend, and, it's going to be out for a few more weekends, and I think it made $85 million this first.
Over 200 worldwide.
And isn't that crazy? So, it's still a hot commodity, despite the fact this is Hugh Jackman's last outing as Wolverine.
Please listen carefully. Please listen carefully.
Once again, make sure you listen to the Zod and Drea podcast by subscribing to one of the following podcast methods: iTunes, Google Play, or YouTube. Visit our website at www.zodanddrea.com to go directly to the links, or if you choose, you can listen to each podcast episode directly on the website under their individual posts.
Want to get involved and have your voice heard on the next podcast? Then be sure to tune in to the question of the week on our website, Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram page. And dial in and leave a message on our voicemail at 323-963-4221.
If you're an advertiser who would like to have your 30-second or 1-minute placement on our podcast or YouTube episode, please contact us at info@zodanddrea.com and we'll send you a price list. Space is limited for each episode.
The next podcast might even have you as a featured guest.
Tune in, check us out, and get involved.
Okay.
Here we go. That main topic is up for grabs right now, and we got to discuss. Mm-hmm. So the main topic now is, how can the mixture of business and personal relationships fail? I don't know for anybody out there, but I'm sure maybe a bunch of people listening have their own businesses, or you work for someone, but when you have your own thing going on, it's a whole different level. than just cashing a check, or you go to work for a certain amount of hours. That's it. You're out. Cash a check after 2 weeks. You're good. When you work for yourself, it's you providing for yourself as well as any other employees you may have, you developing your payroll system, you doing the work on a responsible amount of time, and delivering and offering your work as is, as you planned or contracted, quoted, whatever you did. And it's up to you to fail or not.
Right.
Or to succeed or not. It's a whole different thing. And I've been doing this. I'm a graphic and website plus graphic website designer plus photographer, and I've been doing my thing since 1996. So I've been doing it a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Plus 20 years. And I've had very few failures for people who can say, Redline doesn't do this or doesn't do that. And one thing I do a lot, because these are my people, is I do things for either my girlfriend, or I'll do something for my brother or my mother or a friend. And you do things, and where obviously you alter your prices. You do what you hook them up with that friends and family discount.
Right.
Because you want them to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
You want them to succeed, and if it's based on the work and the talent that you have to offer, why not? So how can something like that fail? How does that fail?
Mm-hmm.
To me, the failure would be either not delivering on the product. So let's say on my part, I wind up designing something and I deliver to fail on the product either on time, something that they needed at a specific time.
Okay.
It could create a distrust between myself and the other person.
Mm-hmm.
Easily. And I'm sure anybody out there who's done that, you've done it. It's like, oh man, I really needed this then, whatever. That's when you have to probably alter your friends and family discount, or you have to give up the money that you get, that
Right.
received as a down payment.
So it's not only a fiscal loss.
Right. It's not going to just be a fiscal loss. You could actually lose your friend or, not a family member. I mean, people do. Like, there have been things where people have mixed business and pleasure. Okay. Let's pretend, hey, I'm going to start up this business. Hey, babe, could you loan me $5,000?
Mm-hmm. Oh, sure. Got it right here. Sure.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I take the $5,000. I go to my business, wind up like, Ralph Cramden and, Ralph and Alice Cramden, from the Honeymooners. Why you have that confused face?
Because I'm like, I love the Honeymooners.
Yeah, that's my show. That's my favorite show. Anyway, you wind up with that, and you get some scheme, and you blow $5,000. And it's like, hey, babe, I what am I gonna come home to? I just blew like $5,000 per risk. That's going to put a monkey wrench in what we consider a perfect system that we have.
Right.
Relationship goals? Nah. It's not anymore. Like, relationship sold. You're out. Like, now you're suing me. That can fail.
Right.
Can
That's
fail.
a big fail.
That's where business can mix in and fail your relationship. I mean, do you have any examples or things that you've done?
Yeah, because when I've delved into some entrepreneur experiences of my own, it's funny. At first I noticed that when you have your business, right, people that you thought would be willing to have your back all of a sudden just want shit for free.
Oh man, oh my God, the freebie people.
Yeah, and it's like, what are you talking about? I'm putting my money on the line, my reputation on the line. It's a big risk. There's no protection. The company I started is like an AT&T where there's just tons of money and lawyers to protect me. You're just pretty much naked in the world, putting yourself at risk, putting whatever it is you're producing or what services you want to provide at risk, and by the good graces of a relationship, hoping that it is something that is going to benefit both. So for somebody, though, I mean, it was nuts when I was approached a lot about the services I was providing, and people were like, "Yeah, you can just do that for free, right?" I'm like, "What?"
I know. Like, do you go
My time is money.
Like, do you go to McDonald's, order off the dollar menu, and say, you know what? I'd rather pay nothing. But give me my sandwich.
Right.
No, you don't. You don't
Right.
go to a restaurant, order the steak, and say, you know what? I'd rather have a discount. You don't do that. But people will take advantage of people who they know and try to get things for free.
Right.
Or at a super, super discount and take advantage and offer nothing in return. Nothing at all.
And are quick to criticize, too.
Which means it is taking advantage of a friendship. It's taking advantage of somebody's talent. I mean, as you know, we had something recently where that had happened to me where this is why, the topic pretty much popped up because it was one of the things we discussed.
It's still raw, people. It's still raw.
Where I'm not going to say based on what emotion the product is based on, but it's really the opposite of the actions that they had given in return. It's like when you hire me as something, photographer, graphic design, and I give you a price quote that lists exactly what you are going to get. One should not assume that just because we're cool, that you're going to get way more than you want or than that was quoted. Mm-hmm. And then after after I do everything that I do and I deliver on my promises, it's like this, people. If I only charge a few $100s for photography skills for a few people, and you bring three times the amount of people to shoot without warning, and I'm already giving this to you as a huge discount. I mean a super discount just because I want you to succeed. But the thing is, things in life are not free. And as a photographer, any photographer out there who knows, you do not give all of your images to somebody. You do not give them all just free and clear unless they pay for the license to do so, unless it's already previously spoken about to have that piece of the contract or quote in there. You don't just give it out for free. For example, people, have you ever been on your Facebook or Twitter accounts or whatever, Instagram accounts, and somebody posts up their own wedding photos? So they post up their own wedding photos.
Ah, so cute.
But the photographer's name is listed on that photo. You've seen it. You've seen it a million times. Everybody does it. They're like, oh, this is your photo, whatever, da-da-da. And they post it up. That's not uncommon because the intellectual property belongs to the photographer. Now, the photographer will give you the option. It's like, hey, you know what? You can take these pictures. These are the pictures that, you can put on your website and all that, but you choose a certain amount of images that I'm going to edit. We're talking about whitening teeth, which had to be done. We're talking about taking off zits and, fixing hair, removing people, backgrounds. If you ever deal with a photographer and or a graphic designer for these costs of 10 photos, I'm telling you, look them up. They can easily be $150 per photo per edit. Okay, so that would equal 2 photos for what I was charging. You get 10, and that's not even including the background and all this stuff, but then you get upset because I'm not giving you all of the photos to do whatever you want with. It's like, remove your logo, please. No, the contract and the quote did not say that. And then, who knows if anyone's trying to smear my name out there. I don't know if. Mm-hmm. But to even do that, it's like I got receipts. I got receipts of not just the approvals of this, like, oh, hell yeah, we're going to hire you, to, oh my God, I can't even choose which photos because I love all of them. And the product that is being put out there is so far removed from what you get, and it winds up becoming a failed relationship because, so then I to them become an enemy because I didn't do what they assumed I would. Not what was written. Not what was expressly described on multiple occasions, but because they assumed it. So it's like, people, be absolutely 100% clear if you ever are a business owner to whoever you're dealing with, because no matter what they perceive themselves to be, they can be something 100% different.
Money brings out a whole different true person.
Money will bring out a whole different true person, especially if it's minimal.
That's what I've learned.
And this is what's so crazy. If you give a discount to somebody, and a 5 times discount, because this could have easily been a $1,300 to $1,500 job, but I'm like, I'm a nice guy. These are my people. Hey, here you go. Here, just $300 for this. And they're like, no, I only want to pay $150 now that everything is done, edited, and now I want more, even though I gave you 5 times the amount of people to shoot. without letting you know, and you schlepped yourself like an hour and something, up north to do. Like, I can't express to you how ridiculous it is for someone to assume that I or anybody else in business would all of a sudden be like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, you deserve 640 photos and don't have to pay any licensing fees. After I busted my hump editing for about 7 hours editing on your 10 photos chosen that you agreed on, and you don't want to pay the extra $150? Hell no, you can't use my photos. Like, that's crazy to me.
So, lesson learned in this fail.
Oh, the lesson learned? Oh, no, definitely make sure that before you do anything, you express it to them. Even if they say yes, 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 express to them what they are getting, because they will try to rip you off because they know you, and they will try to, who knows what their kind of slander they're going to do. Mm-hmm. This is just the truth. And now, I'm sure we've all gone through certain things with certain people, and I have, it's all growing pains, but, you figure each person is going to make you learn something a little different, as this would.
Yeah.
Considering the emotion that is put into and the concept of the product, which is supposed to bring people together, out of a whole caring environment, and give to charity and this and that, and we're all one, we're all unity, and fuck, we don't want to pay you $150 for $1,500 of work. Nah. You can unfriend me on Facebook, whatever. I'm taking your entire existence off of my fucking websites and everything else. So, the fair trade is that I gave more of myself. I gave more of myself than I had to, because I believed in the product, but I also believed in the people. And my mistake was believing in them, believing that they were true to form, believing that they were people who were honorable, They were not.
So do you think this experience will cause you to be more cynical?
After 20 years, you're always going to be more cynical. And yes, it's going to cause me to be more cynical towards people who I do things for. There are certain people who are my people. I mean, these people, I probably just met like a month or something ago, whatever. So, no real love lost. But, moving forward, you're going to have to be way more clearer and have them read certain things on the internet. I don't know what people, some people, they have dealt with others. They've dealt with others who do the same thing. Oh, I've met a graphic designer who doesn't charge as much. Oh, I've met a, photographer who doesn't charge as much. Mm-hmm. That's good for them. But you're talking about a dude from Jersey who's been doing it for 20-something years. I have the credentials. I have LG. I have HBO. I have a lot of people behind me. I have Samsung. I can charge because I know my work is good, and I have the people who back me up on it. Photography-wise, it's a newer system, but the thing is, I know my work is good because I get complimented on it all the damn time.
Well, and I was just reading about a friend who's a makeup artist, and how she was getting bashed on her website and on Facebook from people saying you charge too much to do makeup. And she actually broke down the price of how much it costs of all her equipment to use, all of her products, and it's like 10 times more than what she charges.
Like, think about that.
Yeah. So it's... like you said, lesson learned.
Anybody who has, so going back to photography, anybody who has had a headshot done, cleaned up the whole 9 yards, the photographer can easily charge you between $200 and $500 for that headshot to get it right. No, you don't get all 500 photos that they took. You choose whatever whatever you based it on. So maybe you get 2, and then they edit it, whatever, that you get your shot, because you're going to use that to make money. That's what you do with your photos. For somebody to assume that you get 600 shots of people, of 16 people, you edit 10, and you can't even pay $300? Like, something's wrong with your logic here. Especially when you're changing the contract and the quote right there. Like, please, it's all bullshit.
So buyer beware.
Buyer beware. Mixing business with personal, like, don't do it. unless you really, really know the people, know your folks. Because I there's some people like my man, like there are some people I do things for that are, I mean, it's all
right, because
love.
there's a history there. There's
a history.
Right, there's
These
a
are my
history.
people.
There's a history of common respect of business.
And they do, yeah.
Right.
And, on any concept of love, they give it to me.
So people, let us know your thoughts.
Let us know your thoughts.
Have you been burned in the past?
Have
Come
you
on.
been burned? Come on. Like people in business, business is one thing, but people taking advantage of others, I mean, don't fall for the okie doke. Even whatever the product says is based on an emotion, to where you're supposed to be caring. Because they will dupe you.
So come on, let us know. And if you want to talk about it or leave a recording, come on our show. We can definitely continue this subject if you want to.
Yeah, we can talk about this. And I can talk about this all day, but it's all good. But the good thing is, other people have come since then and I've made plenty of dough. So, drop in the bucket, but just don't misrepresent who you are and take advantage of others. And that's my advice. That's it. Integrity means something.